Okay. So now, with that being said, it's difficult for men to not want to procreate with a woman. It's difficult for us. And most women don't understand how difficult that is because every day women get offered guys. Every day. When a guy
Get offered guys?
offered. I'm trying to be politically correct here and not say something vulgar.
But
Men
I already gave a disclaimer, so I'm not following what you're saying.
okay. Women get offered sex every day because men are after that. So when a man is saying, let me get that door for you. Oh, you look so nice. That is a prelude to, I want to sleep with you. That is a prelude to that. So women have practices every day to turn down men. Women do that on a consistent basis. Matter of fact, it's a sport for them. They love to tell a guy, you too dusty, you too broke, you can't do this for me, you can't do that for me. They love that experience.
Well, don't men do the same thing?
How so?
Because a man may see a woman who they find unattractive.
He just won't say anything to her.
Okay, so you're saying that women verbalize their
Yes.
discontent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've seen some. Well, yeah, I've seen some. I've heard some men say some things that
Only
may
if
not
he's
be flattering.
provoked. Only if he's provoked. Like an example of that would be if a man sees a woman and she's very attractive and he might, what women call catcall, or he might whistle, or he might say something, oh, baby, you look nice in those jeans, or anything. And her response could be, it could be a look or it could be something verbal. And now he has a choice to respond in the way that he chooses to, but he's being triggered by her saying something vulgar back at him, which he didn't think was vulgar when he said to her, you look nice in those jeans.
Okay.
So that would be my example.
All right. So you mentioned something about the XY chromosome supporting your opinion about women should not be in roles that are traditionally held by men. You mentioned leadership. Before you answer that question, what other roles you believe women should not hold? You mentioned leadership is one, as far as guidance. It's part of leadership.
I think you and maybe perhaps your listeners might feel that I have a bad view of women.
Oh, no, I know you love women.
And that can't be further from the truth. I don't believe women should not hold any position that they don't want for themselves. I don't believe that. What I do believe is that there are consequences behind those choices, as I stated earlier. An example of that would be women that work in penitentiaries.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, women that work in penitentiaries. Let's use that as an example. Women should not.
That's not common. Where you about to go, but I'll let you finish it.
It's common. Unless you think I'm going someplace. But anyway, women working in penitentiaries should not be guarding men. Because if something breaks out, you're not strong enough to date.
That's why I thought you was going when you said date. So,
well, that's happening too. That's happening at an alarming rate right now, actually. And that's another thing. But you can't prevent I'm 6'5", 270 pounds. What is a woman guard going to do with me? If there's a riot going on, if she's not armed, you know what I mean?
But nobody's armed, and at least you see in the movies. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not. Okay. They have to go get those weapons. They can't walk around with them. So, but
now, what about a 5'5", 5'6" man who's a $1.5" wet?
He's still stronger than the average woman, or the above average woman.
Really?
He's still stronger. God made us different.
Well, that's
He
obvious.
just made us different.
That's quite
and
obvious.
we're
looking at us.
We have more testosterone. They have more estrogen, and that's just what it is. And we can't. That's not even debatable. So that testosterone makes us stronger in many ways than a woman is. But going back to what, and also women guarding men, here's another bad decision. Something ain't going right in your life, like you just said. Oh, you're not giving me attention. Now you coming to the jail.
We want some things.
Now you coming to the jail, and that criminal now is talking to you. And now you come in smelling good, putting your makeup on, and you're not seeing this guy like you're supposed to see him. You seeing him as a guy that's talking nice to you. And then women end up bringing in dope, phones, sleeping with the guy. Men and women, let me be clear, men shouldn't be guarding women either.
Okay, I was about to ask you. It
Yeah,
goes both ways.
it goes both ways. They should not be doing that. So what I'm saying is you're putting people in positions to not be successful and this stuff to go awry. And then when it does, you're surprised. Oh, you're supposed to have these standards. It's men and women. That's what's supposed to happen.
So
The
is that
natural
why?
gravitation toward each other.
So is that why you say women should not be in leadership positions?
That's a slippery slope, Al. Let's say this, or I'll say this.
Yeah, you say that.
I'll say this.
Let's.
I do believe women should be in leadership positions. I do believe that.
You just said like
and I'm okay.
12 minutes ago.
No, I did not. I said that there are consequences for them being in those leadership positions.
Your cousin, for the record, let me
Go ahead.
put this out there. I ask you, what roles
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that are traditionally held by men, women, you find objectionable? And you mentioned leadership and guidance, which I say guidance is
In
part
a
of leadership.
relationship. In a relationship. If you're talking about outside of a relationship, then yes, but there's consequences.
Outside of relationship
Yeah.
too. Outside of relationship.
Everybody's placed here on this earth has a right to go for what they want. If you want to be successful in business, do that. If you want to be the leader in your relationship, do that. What I'm saying is that I'm an alpha masculine man. I lead, I don't follow. I run to the front. And the person that's going to be with me is going to have to get on my program. That's not a controlling program. That's not anything of that nature. What it is I'm the leader, I'm the guide, I'm the teacher. I will provide, I will protect, I will provide infrastructure, I will provide guidance. I will do everything that is required of a man to do at his highest point for my female.
Now, some women out there may find what you said objection, which is
That's
you're
fine.
the teacher. Some
Yes.
may say, I don't need to be taught. I have a PhD.
If you feel like you don't need to be taught, and that's another problem. If you feel like you don't need to be taught, then you don't need to be in a relationship because I can learn from learn from my female as well.
Okay, so it goes both ways.
Yeah, I can learn from my female as well. If I close myself off to that, then how are we going to grow as a unit?
So would you be okay with a woman giving you guidance
Sure.
on things that you believe should be traditionally decided by men?
Sure. If I'm weak in an area and she's strong in that area and she sees something that I don't see, I will go to her for counsel. Now, my decision at the end is going to be mine, but I will take in account her counsel about that.
So are you comfortable with working for a woman outside the house? We've been talking about inside the home.
No, I'm not comfortable with that. I can answer that quick,
Okay.
fast, and in a hurry.
And why not?
Because I run to the front. I don't stand on the side. I don't stand behind. I don't walk behind. I run to the front. So I will never be comfortable with a woman leading me, ever. In capital letters, ever.
So you never had a job where you had a female boss,
Sure, and I didn't like it.
but you got that paycheck.
Not long. How long have you known me? How long have you known me to be in business for myself? Okay.
So you're an entrepreneur because
Yes.
you don't want to be told what to do by a woman. In the
It
workplace.
doesn't have to be a woman. It can be a man. I'm not interested in making anybody rich but myself.
But you find it objectionable working for a woman or having a woman as
I would have a problem with that. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I believe because I'm that person that runs to the front. I need to lead. I don't need to follow. I don't that makes me sweat to even think about that. Yeah,
You're that repulsed by it.
I've been a natural born leader. Anything that I've ever gotten into, I've always ran to the front of that. Whether I knew it consciously or subconsciously. But at a younger age, I've always known I hated working for people. Whether it was a man or a woman, I hated that. But because I believe I'm in the process of trying to get my master's in psychology, and I just believe that it's psychologically damaging for a woman to be controlling a man.
That is out there.
How is that out there? How is that out there? If
Because,
hold on.
no, you ask your question. I want to answer your question.
Go ahead.
Women have, they've gone to school just like a man
Sure.
has, and you have a woman who's more qualified than a man to be placed in a leadership position. She should have that right.
And I'm not denying that.
But you say you find it repulsive for a man to actually be in that position to work under her.
Because I know what the outcome is going to be. It's going to be disrespect, because a woman, if you were to ask any woman, even what you call boss bees.
I don't call them that. I've never called a woman a boss bee.
Well, not you. But most, we'll say women call themselves boss bees.
I've heard a lot of women call themselves that.
If you were to ask 100 women, what kind of man are you attracted to? I guarantee you that man that she has to lead, she's not going to even bring him up. So I know the consequences of that. So a woman does not respect a man that she has to lead.
And the workplace, I don't think that's
any place.
I don't think that's
any place,
because she's there to do a job, he's there to do a job, and they both go home to their respective spouses.
Yes. But I just given you a litany of stuff earlier in this conversation where women said, I feel like I would be dating down if a man doesn't meet me.
I'm talking about workplace now.
I was getting there if you let me get there.
Okay.
As far as I need a man on my level financially. I need a man. Most women that have PhDs and masters, they're not going to even deal with a guy that has a high school diploma or associates, because she's going to look down on him. Women have historically looked down on men that they are in a better position in. If you ask a woman, what kind of man are you attracted to? Do you want a man that's more physically opposing than you? They'll say yes. If you ask them, do you want a man that's more intelligent than you? That might vary, but most of them will say, yeah, probably. If he's more competent than me, then he's fit to lead me. Is he taller than me? Yes. So all of those things are strengths, L. They're strengths. So if a woman is leading you, there's no way in hell she's going to respect you. There's no way.
In a workplace, they have something called human resources.
Facts.
So
Facts.
If a woman is not respecting a male subordinate, then there's avenues to address that issue. But I don't think that's common in those type of female leadership, male subordinate positions.
It's common. It's just not being said. It's common. A woman can disrespect you in a bunch of ways.
Also in the workplace. Without being a target of an HR investigation.
It all depends on the guy.
Well, give me an example.
If you let me, I'm trying. I'm saying it all depends on the guy. If it's a beta guy, which 80% of guys out here are betas, he's not going to even recognize that he's being talked down to. So he's not going to even go to HR. But if it's an alpha dude, he's going to go to first and foremost, he's going to check her in the beginning before he even gets to HR.